day of installing, I'm going to lay the logs, and they'll be stood on their ends, and I want people to pick one log each and walk across the hallway and place it on the log pile, and this pile will rise throughout the day. That's what I hope. I chose the wood pile, and in particular the Danish wood pile, because wood piles around the world, I really like wood piles, but they're very representative of the area that you're in. So in Denmark, where everything's organised, so are the wood piles.
I don't think you are above the height of the glass cabinet.
Don't worry about it. At the beginning of most projects, I tend to do a lot of research away from the studio. Part of that research in this project was looking at the cooperative movement in Denmark and also linking it to the cooperative movement in England, because that started near my home city of Manchester. So I was making a link between the two places. In Denmark, there is a kind of mock village museum near Holbæk, where I went to do my research into trying to find a palette of colours for the ends of the logs. And after much testing and looking into different surfaces, whether it be shiny or matte, and looking at lots of different colours, I ended up with these 5 colours as my palette. I began with obviously looking at existing wood piles and drawing and photographing them, but I started making quite early, working on smaller maquettes, looking at the profiles and the shapes at the ends of the logs and how they could stack up. And then after a lot of experimenting with different clay bodies, I scaled them up and created a profile which allowed me to extrude using a pug mill, which was a lovely technique and one that was working very well, making these white logs. But unfortunately the pressure that I put on the machine meant that it broke. So I ended up working at a brick factory in Næstved, where the profile was put on their brick production line, and we ended up extruding 125 in 3 hours, which was incredible. So the pieces come out quite raw, and they need a lot of work once they're back, but it was this initial form that I needed. So then I stuck an end on, smoothed all of the sides that I wanted smoothing, and added a layer of bark, which is you can see here. So that's how I produced the 5 different shapes that make up the wood pile. We're going to stack the logs. We're going to take each log individually, put it against this temporary back wall. Who would like to do the first log? Will you? Yeah. Everybody was discussing the shape and the colours and what went where. So I'm really pleased, and I just stood at the back and just watched it happen. And it was, after all those hours making it, it worked. So I'm really pleased. Yeah.
Hi.
Thanks for the cameras. I think my favourite piece is down at the bottom. The local culture minister laid the first log and I was fiddling on with the backboard, and he came and he laid it, and rather than lay it right down in the corner, he put it slightly in the middle, so that meant the next log was placed at a different angle, and already from the first log I was already surprised, and that's what I wanted.